planning, you're going to have a long-term vision. Don't look for the short spurts and the short returns. Think long-term. Long-term for your financial stability. So you think in retirement. You're thinking generational stability. You're thinking a level where you're going to get to of having freedom of choice. This stage is not about just money, not about financial, but about alignment, aligning your spending, your savings, and your future goal, and bringing them all together as one. You don't have to rush this stage. You simply have to respect this stage because a strong foundation holds a lot of weight, and a weak one can certainly collapse under pressure. So think about it that way. Investing as an act of self-respect. This is very important because I always tell anyone, no matter what you're doing, you should respect what you're doing. When you respect what you're doing respects you. So let's say something powerful in the affirmation realms here. Investing is an act of self-respect. So it says something like this: I believe my future matters. I believe I deserve financial security. I believe my life will continue to prosper and grow. When you invest, you're speaking to yourself and to your future self. And you're saying things like, I didn't forget about you. My future, you are on my mind. And that's powerful. That's a powerful statement. That's a powerful affirmation for yourself. So understand this. Regardless of where you at in building your financial future, especially this message is for people who are in the beginning stages, understand that you're not late. You're not behind. You're not incapable. You are simply at the beginning of a new mindset. And that beginning stage, that young stage is a very sacred stage, an important stage. And it's where you build the foundation for the future that you want for yourself. It's what we call planting seeds. That's very important. So before I close the part one, I want you to sit with this thought. You don't need to have everything figured out, because most people don't. Even if they act like they do not. You don't need to have everything in order. You just need to start thinking differently about your financial future. The first stage of investing is not money movement. It's mind shifting, all about mindset. A seed planted today may not grow immediately or even tomorrow, but it grows quietly, steadily, and faithfully in time and over time. And one day you'll look back and realize that the moment you chose to plant a seed for your future. And with that moment, your future begins to change. And effectively, it's changed for the better. So that's why it's important to plan today for tomorrow. So let's move to the second part of this Financial Fitness Friday. First stage to investing, part two. From mindset to movement, building the first investment rhythm. Everything is about alignment, about getting your life in alignment and building a rhythm for yourself where everything just starts to flow. You can get there. Trust me. Closing the threshold. Because in part one, we were talking about awakening of the mindset and having the right mindset as we're moving forward. And part two is about honoring the commitment that you made for yourself. Because once you decide your future matters, then the next question becomes, what does action look like? What does steadfastly commitment look like without fear? Because it's not about fast movement and fast returns. It's not about that. It's not about rushing. As I just mentioned, it's about your rhythm. It's about how you are coming in alignment with everything that you're setting out to do and to become. Investing should not be a sprint. Now, it could be. It could be for individuals who have a lot of disposable money, an individual who has a lot of risk tolerance. Everything comes down to risk tolerance of where you are on that spectrum. But if you're thinking about your future, it should not be about a sprint. It's about the relationship that you build with your financial planning over time. And today we are moving quietly and gently from mindset into actionable movement. So first, understanding time, and as time being your greatest asset. When people think of investing, they think of money first. And that's the first thing that comes to mind, obviously. But seasoned investors know simple things. Things like time is currency. Time gives you room to breathe. Time allows compounding. And in some future sessions, we'll start talking about compounding and how that grows your investment quickly. But it starts allow compounding, and it does it quietly, and it does it faithfully, and it does it over time. Time reduces pressure and panic. Future focus investing will ask things like, how long can I leave this money untouched without having to even think about it? Am I investing for growth, for income, or for preservation? What season of my life am I preparing for? These are self-reflecting questions that you have to ask yourself and you have to answer for yourself. Let's see. Oh, what investing advice that is outdated or misleading you may have heard of? Let me see. What investing advice that is outdated or misleading that you may have heard of? That is a funny question. It's an interesting question because it's so many. I'll go back to what I started with. My Financial Fitness Fridays is about simplifying financial matters and helping people to understand that this is not something that's foreign. This is not something that's over your head. This is not something that you don't understand, but it's actually in your grasp. And it's something that you have to do and you have to work on and you have to start where you're at. That to answer that question is so many things because they always, you go back to the old myth of buy low and sell high. Well, what does that mean? Have you seen stock prices lately? It's so many myths and innuendos and different things as it comes to stock. So you got to start with the basics. Start with the basics and start where you're at and not listen to all the noise out there. If you listen to all the noise, then you talk about private equity and hedge funds and all these different things that's going on out there, index funds, stuff like that. Most of that stuff is for sophisticated investors. Most of that stuff is a financial game that most people won't even grasp and does not have the risk tolerance or the money for. What we're talking about at this level is investing for the future and planet and creating solid foundation for our future. So there is so many I can't even get to what are misleading concepts and stuff like that. Let's just stay focused on the basics right now. What? That was a good question. Are you supposed to be like the Suge Knight from T-Boo? I guess if that's what you want me to be. So keep on listening. We're going to keep on going. So, what season of life am I preparing for? You have to ask yourself. You don't rush seeds. Remember, we're planting seeds and you don't rush it. You plant them with patience. And the earlier you plant them, the stronger the roots in time and over time. Start small without shame. If you listen to the market and if you listen to financial news and all that, you got to get in, look at the stock prices for these tech stocks and everything's going on. And you start to feel like, well, I'm not in that, or I can't get in that, or that's not for me. No, it is for you. But you just have to start small. You don't have to get in the most, attractive stocks out there and the highest stocks. You don't have to invest in Berkshire Hathaway. You could start small. Start where you're at without any shame. So let's release, as we were just talking about, the myth right here and right now. I need a lot of money to start investing. That's a myth. You do not. What you need is consistency, not a large amount. Small investments builds confidence. So that's what you want to do. You want to get your feet wet. You want to start with a small. In fact, an early investor can actually buy fractional investments. That'd be something for a later session as well. Well, you don't even have to buy the full price of a stock. You could buy fractional and then have dividends reinvestment or periodic reinvestment and stuff like that as you build. So you don't have to go all in. Start small. As you build your confidence, you reduce your fears, you create discipline. And the number one thing that's going to do is teach patience, which is you're going to need. You're going to need in time and over time. There is no shame in starting where you are. There is only power in starting at all. A future planning mindset says things like, I will begin even if it's imperfect. Because in an imperfect beginning can often have a powerful outcome. That's just the fact of the matter. Start where you're at. And most people get hung up. They think they got to do, I got to know, I got to go. No, start where you are. Emotional discipline versus market noise. One of the most overlooked part of investing is emotional discipline. Why, one may ask? Because things happen. That's why. Market rises, markets fall, headline screams urgency. But discipline and a disciplined investor will understand panic is expensive. Patience in time, over time, is profitable. Long-term vision, silent short-term fears. So you got to think long-term. You are not investing as a game for excitement. You are investing for stability and financial freedom for your future. When emotion rises, you want to return to where you started, your initial goals, your why. Why did I start? What am I building? And what am I building this for? What future am I preparing for and or protecting? Remember, clarity calms fears. So you want to act at all times with clarity and focus. Aligning investment with your life goal. As I mentioned, everything you want to come into alignment. Investment and investing is not separated from your life, but it's supposed to support it. You are investing for the things like a peace of mind. You're investing for things like having choices, flexibility, and ultimately legacy. Future planning means aligning money with your meaning. Your investment should support the life that you live, the rest and the peace that you want to have in your life and you want to enjoy, the impact that you ultimately want to leave in your life as your legacy. Money follows your intention. When the intention is clear, decisions become clearer and easier. So trust your process and trust it. Trusting the process. So here's a simple and what I call a quiet truth. Investing not only teaches patience, but it humbles egos. It rewards consistency in time. You will not always feel like you made the right choices. You will not always feel like you're confident. But you will, in time and over time, trust the process as you build. And you're building in time and it's showing up what you're doing, the results, month after month, year after year. This is not about control because obviously you do not have absolute control, but this is about being committed to your plan and to your future. So let's take one last reflective breathing method. Breathe in peace, exhale and release. Your future does not need to be perfect. Good luck trying to get a perfect future. But it needs you to be present. Every intentional step that you take today is a message for yourself tomorrow. It's a message that you leave for yourself that say, I see you. I'm preparing for you. I didn't forget you. And that's a powerful message to leave yourself. Investing is not just financial, but it's greater than that. If you think about what I'm talking about, when you come in alignment with mindset, emotion, spirit, all in alignment, then it becomes very spiritual. It becomes emotional. And it's an act of self-honor. So if that's the case, move gently, stay consistent, and trust your time and your timing. Your future is listening to every word and watching your every action that you're doing today. So there you have it. Financial Fitness Friday with D.E. Wilder. Financial fitness for the future. So thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to grow. Thank you for honoring the life ahead of you because you're preparing for your future. Till next time, stay intentional, stay grounded, and always invest in becoming who you are designed to be. If this message made a difference to you, and I hope it did, please share it with someone who you feel may need to hear it. Important. Stay rooted, stay blessed, and keep living your life with kindness, clarity, and purpose. I am D. Wilder, and this is Financial Fitness Friday, focusing on financial fitness for the future. I bid you farewell. Happy holidays. Peace and blessings. By the way, Suge Knight has nothing on me. Couldn't touch me if you tried.
I'll do another question, but I guess you don't have time. Next segment.